Here's the story of a toy named Prowl, and it's only slightly more complicated, larger version. They're both available now from Amazon, although the stock is fluctuating. I'm so sorry, people. This is your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And today we are taking a look at, continuing our look at, I should say, from the Transformers Cyberverse Action Attackers one-step line. This is Prowl, and I'm just bringing in his warrior class version for comparison. And just as an extra aside, if you have that Cyber Battalion Prowl, this transforms exactly the same. It's clearly based on the mold. The only differences are the concessions made for the door wings and the guns. But we'll get to that when we get into robot mode. So let me roll this guy out of the way. Oh, rolling wheels are so handy. And let's take a look at what we've got here. And this is Prowl. A very nice lighter shade of blue. That sky blue on the window. Very nice looking car. As with Megatron and Optimus Prime, this is a one-step changer. It rolls quite nicely. And one thing I am very happy to see is the return of spring-loaded transformations. Simply press down on the exhaust here, and the figure will spring forward and open. I launched it like that. That was kind of funny. And there you have a very nice G1 Eskish, that's nice, version of Prowl. Now, of course, you can pretty much see the legs, the head all molded into place. You can move the arms. There are little tabs there. You might be able to see from my thumb that will peg the arms into place. And it's all, again, in this nice blue color. You might remember back to Age of Extinction, there was a one-step changer Prowl that used the butterfly design. And that was out of left field, so this is quite nice. Now, as I mentioned, this is part of the Action Attacker line, and this is where things are going to get a little interesting. This is not mentioned on the packaging instructions at all. All the packaging mentions is how to transform to robot mode, which is depressing the exhaust pipe. For this, you actually have to come in and push on the rear window that is frictioned into place, and then slide it up all the way. It will click into place, bringing what I believe are to be the cannons over the shoulder and forward, and then you continue the transformation by folding out the blast effects. So you have this angled over the shoulder blaster look. Now, this is just my opinion. I think that this was meant actually that the force of the sliding was supposed to bring the cannons forward, but also flip out the blast effects. Here are two problems. Number one, this is frictioned into place down here. Now, even if you loosen it up like I have and bring it forward, you kind of don't get enough momentum to flip anything out. I mean, those blast effects come out a little, but the bigger issue is to finish the action and have the cannons in the right position, it has to snap into place. Now, there we have Prowl. If you are familiar with this version, which I will now very quickly transform for you, just flip out the legs there and try not to break anything. Flip out the feet. Again, as I said, this is exactly like the Cyber Battalion figure. Lift the arms up. Oh, hot little tip here for the arm transformation. They actually have you leave the doors open, when going from robot mode to vehicle mode. See, you usually end up with the arms like this. What I recommend is closing the arms to get them in the proper position, which is to rotate in like that, and then opening them up again. So once you get them out and up, that now I would say open the arms. And make sure you don't snap the leg off the ball joint. But here's Prowl now, the warrior figure. Not that much bigger, by the way, in its robot mode. Now, to finish the transformation for Prowl, you would have to clip the hood into place. And the first time pressing down would trigger the spring-loaded effect with the guns. And as you can see, they're on a more proper angle, no blast effect, but they sit properly. And I wonder if there was some way that could have been worked in to the chest. Other than that, it's basically the same figure. By the way, I think this Prowl is the best of the Wave 3 Warrior class figures, and I think it's actually number 2 behind Shockwave as the best Warrior class figures from Cyberverse. That doesn't happen. So, there is that. Obviously this one has more articulation, but wow, just looking at them, there really isn't that much of a size difference between the Warrior class and the one-step changer. But I just wanted to show that and show you how the difference in the relatively the same effect is done differently. And, also you see the difference in the blue there. That's a lighter blue. I actually like that lighter blue. That actually reminds me, you guys remember the old Spy Changers? That there was a Prowl version, and there was a Prowl 2 that had a lighter blue. But anyway, to get back into vehicle mode, you have to go ahead and disengage this whole blast effect, and make sure it does snap into place back down here. The arms, make sure they do tab into place on the inside of the doors. Go ahead and then flip the hood up and grab it from the feet and just fold it down. And there you go. And you're back. So, we'll pause and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, before we go, I did also want to mention, for those of you that watched my Optimus Prime review, I think there was something supposed to go on with the axe in terms of a motion feature like Megatron and Prowl, but it just didn't work. And like Prowl, there was no instructions whatsoever. I think it's just, swing the arm or whatever, but who knows? It's a fine figure either way. I like Prowl. I like the look of the car. I like the transformation. I love the fact that we're getting the spring-loaded transformations again instead of this whole motion friction type of deal. I mean, those are fun too, but I do like that the spring activated is not being forgotten. Now, the action feature, the blast effect here, I am a little disappointed it was not executed better. I think definitely a more like a friction or spring activated activation would have worked better. But for what it is very nice. I think, it is cool that we are getting now an evolution of the one-step changer where, they're not just push a button and they're a robot. Now it's push a button, they're a robot, and then fiddle with something and you get like an action feature or a weapon or something. Like I said at the beginning, I got this off of Amazon.com. Actually, I got this off of eBay. And I'm a little ashamed of that because while I was able to get Optimus Prime and Megatron off of Amazon, and of course Bumblebee, which we'll take a look at in another video, I grew a little impatient, and as soon as I saw Prowl was available, I jumped on it, whereas I should have waited a day and Prowl was in stock. And that's just something going on with Amazon and their the way they stock their items, that it's basically piecemeal. Like, you'll get one figure here or one figure there. That's what they did with the Warrior figures. Hot Rod showed up, then I think Soundwave, and then Prowl, and it was, they're all there now, but definitely keep an eye out on Amazon. They're about $9.99. I think $8 would have been a little bit better for the figure, but then again, I'd pay $10 if it was an entirely enclosed packaging. So, that's enough of my ramblings and what have you. Thank you so much for watching. This is your old pal Chuck for Prowl. We will see you next time.